Al sent me his bio, and I'm gonna show you when he's not ready. I'm no lie. He said, when you get to be my age, you have the same type of bio. I said, okay. So I'm gonna keep it short. Albert has photographed and designed TV covers for the LeBron brothers, Ralphie Santi, Conjunto Imagen, Willie Villegas, anybody took a picture. Albert began writing poetry in 2002 after his father died. Albert one day hopes to publish a book of his photographs and poetry as a legacy to his culture. And he's also donating a piece that he designed, that he drew, and I'm going to let him tell you a little bit about his piece, all right? So give a round of applause for Al.
First of all, it's a really small world because, see that guy with the camera there? You know why he's laughing?
Why?
Because we went to grade school together, yo. We went to grade school together, yo. Papa.
No.
We ain't going to Valencia, though. Check this out. I call this piece mystery. And what it has is Darwin's theory of evolution, the Big Bang theory, the Great Pyramid of Giza, and the Nazca line, not to be confused with redneck Nazca driving. Alright? But anyway, I donated 10 of these, and I signed them, and these shits would be worth a lot of money if I die. Now, if I get shot when I go outside, it was the guy that bought a bunch of the posters. So what I'm saying is $5 a piece, and all the money is going to go to the kids. Now, Raul, happy birthday. All right? I'm waiting for my little brother's his birthday too today. Okay, you know, he's on Puerto Rican time. Now, check it out. You know, when you put some kids in a playground, when they're young, they all play together. And it's later on when you really realize something happens in your life that basically tells you you're different. All right. So what I'm going to do is this poem is called "The Day My Blood Caught Fire." I'm going to take my glasses off because when you get old, that should happen. In the early '60s, while President Kennedy was still alive, during a summer so hot we could barely survive, the big metal fan in the window that was on night and day really didn't provide a break from the sun's blistering rays. It was on a Sunday morning that my father announced, "We're going to Orchard Beach. I gotta get out of this house." So after Mom packed the sandwiches and pernil from the night before, we grabbed our gear and promptly headed out the door. Although the car was parked at 149th, right down the street, it seemed like an eternity getting there with those rubber chancletas on our feet. Remembering that journey when I didn't have a care, looking out the window and feeling that warm Bronx air. When we reached the big lot with the sign that read Orchard Beach, we were all elated that the respite from the heat was within reach. Walking to the beach, heading towards Section 5, you know that shit, was when I heard these rhythms that made me feel oh so alive. It was a beat I knew I heard before. It had come from that old record player my dad got at the furniture store. It was like the music from that album with the saint on the cover that Mom played while she waved that old pot of incense over me and my brother. At the end of the handball court, on the benches, enjoying the shade of the big tree, were these drummers of all different colors, but they were all like me. Approaching the drummers, hands in rhythmic motion performing a skin-beating dance that kept the in-place dancing crowd in a heart-pounding trance. One guy was beating a bell, like the one of Elsie the cow, whose sound enhanced those addictive beats that had captured the crowd. Chanting to the crowd was an elderly black man in a little white hat, as if conducting a symphony of people as they chanted back. Suddenly I felt the heat from within my body that spread throughout, and I knew I too had been seduced by these rhythms and wanted to shout. I looked at Mom and Dad as any child would when they didn't understand but they too were possessed by the intoxicating percussion as they held my hands. Overtaken by the delicious sounds that had awoken my soul, my body began moving to the drums, one of which I would later own. It was hot as hell on that pavement, and no one seemed to tire, because the dancing and chanting were being fueled by their blood that was on fire. A pretty young lady smiled with pride as she looked at me, understanding that I was experiencing a shared cultural ecstasy. We moved from the shade out to the sand under the scorching heat. I could still hear the drums in the distance as I lay on the sheet. I understood that this was part of my essence of who I am. Without it, I would be a beach without water or sand. Yo soy boricua.